to End of Day Friday, April 10th. I'm JT Backus, the Academy Headmaster over at First Stages Theater Academy, here to welcome you to End of Day Friday. I hope you had a great day and a great week, and we just have a couple of things to send you off into the weekend and have wonderful, wonderful, wonderful new memories to make. So first, our announcements are if you're continuing to do work at home for First Stage with the hashtag FS at home, go ahead and share that with us. Or if you would like to check out more information about the FS at home, that is at firststage.org, and there's information on our website about how you can get involved at home with First Stage. Summer Academy registration is open, so please click the link in the description if you would like to register for summer classes. I do suggest that you do this rather soon, as classes are filling up rather quickly. So fill out what works for your schedule, and hopefully there's still a spot left for you. So that is pretty much all the announcements. Again, fill out those Ask Academy and challenges and acknowledgements in the description in the forums, in the Google Forms, so that we can give you the shout out and give the shout out to the world and the internet on our live stream. Now, you might also be wondering, what are some ways, JT, that I can help First Stage at home? Well, here are a few options. Check it out.
Here are some other ways that you can help support First Stage. If you had any tickets to one of the canceled performances, you can choose to donate your tickets to First Stage. You can also create a family package for our 2021 season. Feel free to purchase a gift card redeemable for tickets or for our Theater Academy classes. Feel free to share your love for First Stage on our Facebook, Instagram, or Twitter. If you would like to help even more, please connect with us. We'd love to hear from you.
So those are some ways that you can help First Stage right at home. Now we're going to get into our next little segment called Acknowledgements. I have an acknowledgement today. I would like to acknowledge the weather for letting us go outside today. Yeah! I also have an acknowledgement. This is from Betsy Corey, who is our managing director over at First Stage. And Betsy would like to acknowledge all of the students who are staying strong and being active, even though you are stuck at home. We miss you. And it's so true. We do really, really miss all of our students. So that's all the acknowledgements we have for today. If you would like to submit an acknowledgement, please do in the form below, and then we can go ahead and celebrate that acknowledgement together. Great. If you are not standing, I ask that you do stand, or you find yourself in a position that is active. And go ahead and stand in active neutral with your feet shoulder length apart, knees slightly bent, shoulders back and relaxed. And your head just floating upon your spine, being pulled up by a string of light, string of pearls, whatever works for you. And we're going to do a little bit of reflection, and then we're going to go into our Ask Academy section, sending you off into the weekend to create those wonderful memories. When you're ready, close your eyes or fix your gaze to the floor and just find stillness. I had mentioned this morning about taking something that is ordinary and making it extraordinary, right? And I want you to reflect today, this week, past couple weeks of quarantine, and how did you find those ways to make things extraordinary? How were you adding yourself into the mix? I know that the staff and I have talked to many of our students about we know that you have talent, we know that you're good at what you do, but now we want to see you. We want to see you in these characters. And how do you put yourself out there? That's a scary thing. Being vulnerable and being able to just be you and speak the words of someone else, it's not easy to do. There's an image that I use sometimes when I play a difficult role that's somewhat scary to play, or I find a little bit uncomfortable. I remember that it is a character, and that after the show is over or after I'm done, I can release it from my body and move on with my day, right? There was an artist, a scientist rather, that was suspended in air and had volts of electricity shoot through her body, right? And if she was grounded, she would be in a considerable amount of pain. However, because she was suspended, it kind of went through her fingers, went through her body, she felt it, but it went right out her toes and then away. And sometimes I like to think of that as an acting experience of the characters coming through me, through my body, but then eventually once the curtain closes or falls, the character is gone. And we leave the show on the stage, and then we can come back to it. Excuse me. So, take those risks, right? Conquer those fears. And together with those two things, so much is possible. So, I know that's a lot to do in just a short amount of time, but keep working on it. It's a practice, just like my coworker, Mr. Colton, when he's up here giving the beginning and end of day, right? This is a process. We keep saying that you don't have to be perfect. In fact, perfect is just like a weird word that is unachievable because what does it mean, right? Perfect is defined by what you mean, right? By you. So, it's a process, it's a practice, and if you keep it up, you'll get to where you want to be. So with that, we'll take our deep breaths in, and then we have that special Ask Academy. So, go ahead and breathe on in, and out, and in, and out, and in one more time, and forward. Thank you so much, everyone. Have a great weekend. I'll see you back here next week on Monday for another beginning of day and another week of wonderful Academy Online. Now, this question for today for Ask Academy was share a favorite classroom memory. So, enjoy the video, and I'll see you all on Monday at 10 a.m. Take care.
So one of my favorite things to hear from classroom teachers when I go in and do our programming is young people that switch roles when they're in our classes. For example, I had a teacher come up to me. I was teaching, it was a workshop based on colonial America where young people get to go into role as the colonists, and we have town meetings, and they eventually you have to make decisions based on what the colonists may have done. So there was a young person that was kind of leading the meeting, and a fifth grader. He was getting really involved in the drama and really like standing up for, the colonists' rights, and his classmates were cheering him on, and he had he had his role down, and he was very passionate about it. When I was leaving the classroom, the teacher had come up to me and said that she was in shock because this young person usually was completely quiet during school, didn't talk to his classmates, and really just was more of an observant learner. So I hear stories about that all the time where young people finally find their confidence and they find their voice through playing a role.
This year, I taught a pre-show Gretel workshop to a group of high schoolers, and we were working on frozen pictures inspired by the Cinderella story, and we were working on the middle of the story where the clock strikes midnight and Cinderella has to flee the ball. And I cast Cinderella and the prince and the stepsisters, and then the student raises his hand and goes, "Can I be the clock?" And I was like, okay. So he got up and placed himself upstage, standing on a chair so that he was taller than everyone else. And in that moment, he made himself the most important thing on stage. He had his arms straight up like he was, like his arms were the hands of the clock pointing at 12. and his teachers and his classmates and I were just so impressed by that bold choice to make the clock the most important thing in that scene, because it really is.
My favorite classroom story is watching all of my students work together as collaborators to complete a task or a project. It is so beautiful to see young people working together in unity and love, and also showing their ability to be empathetic and to be open-minded when it comes to other people's suggestions. So I just love the way all of my classes work together to accomplish a task and to make sure that everyone is included in that task. Thank you.
Wow, there's a lot of them, a lot of memories. So one of my favorites is just hilarious because kids say the darndest things, right? So I was subbing for a class, and I was saying that, I know, I'm not Mrs. So-and-so, I'm not even Mrs. So-and-so, I'm Mr. JT is what I would say, right? So I accidentally went, I'm not Miss So-and-so, I'm not Mrs. So-and-so, I am Miss JT, and then I went, sorry, never mind, I'm Mr. JT, there is no Miss JT, and this little second grader just thinks for a moment and goes, and stands up and goes, he's single, and I just I thought it was the funniest thing in the world. It really cracked me up.
One of my favorite classroom moments as a teacher was this season when I was working with a group of 5th graders on A Wrinkle in Time. And the activity was simply a reader's theater. We were reading a scene from the script. And it was a scene where Miss Who, Miss Which, and Miss Watsit are showing the children in the story the big dark formless cloud that's going across the sky and destroying all the stars in its path. And it was mainly focused on script reading and presenting the script, but this group of students was so excited by this scene that they asked if we could go further and if we could create everything that the readers were describing. So while those readers were reading the scene, the rest of the class worked together and discussed how to make this black formless cloud and how they would move, and then to cast a few people as stars, and what does that look like, and what does it look like when the mass destroys a star. And it became this super artistic and really lovely presentation of this short scene. And that moment was so special for me because the art took over. I was no longer in charge. They weren't in charge. It was a truly collaborative moment where, because they were so interested and passionate about this scene, every single student in the room came together, came to life, all to work together to tell this story and this scene. And it was such a magical moment as a teacher to see the arts just spark life and creativity and teamwork and collaboration into a group of students.
I have a lot of classroom memories, some of which are really heartfelt, some are really funny. And so I thought I would share one today that's kind of both. So I was in a classroom, it was like a group of combined 1st through 3rd graders. And we were doing a lesson called Journey to the Center of the Earth, where we build this vehicle and we go into the center of the Earth, and we end up saving the world from a catastrophe, like an earthquake or a natural disaster, with the research that we come up with. And so we make it back to the Earth's surface, and I'm narrating the outcome of what we've done. And I say the final lines of, because of our warning, we were able to get people a big, intense salute. And the entire class stood up behind that person, and we all just shared a big salute to each other, and that was the end of the drama. Just a moment where we went out of this classroom and we were truly there, and we were truly showing relation between the characters, and that shared moment of understanding and commitment to the drama was one of the funniest things, but also one of the most endearing things I've ever seen as a teacher.